Today it's difficult to stay focused at work, especially as a manager. Everyone wants your attention. Clients, colleagues, your employees, your boss. The day only has 24 hours. What can you do? How can you stay focused and work on the most important things without distraction? I'll show you what you, as a leader, need to change if you want to stay focused. Stay tuned. For more leadership advice, subscribe to my channel and click on the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. As a good manager, do you work efficiently? Do you have enough time to really work on the important things? I'm the manager here. Everything is important to me. How accessible are you for your employees? Well, I must be accessible all the time. My door is always open to all my employees. Oh, really? Well, I'm just a good manager. Always accessible. I mean, my people need me to take fast decisions, so I have to be accessible all the time, right? Do you think you are doing your employees a favor with this kind of behavior? Yep. Do you really want to be always accessible to your employees all the time? Sorry, but that's nonsense. Yes, I know you want to demonstrate employee orientation, and I understand, after all, it's important these days to be there for your people, to be accessible for them. That's well intentioned, but it doesn't make any sense in this way. What? Any boss who is always accessible struggles with constant interruptions. Anyone who is always available by phone, anyone who reads every DM message immediately on his phone, and who is also proud to answer every email immediately, these guys are not working properly. Well-intentioned doesn't mean well done. Anyone who can be interrupted in this way works completely inefficiently. At the end of the day, a lot seems to have happened. You feel stressed, but you haven't done anything really important. I mean, you haven't had the time to focus and to work on something deeply enough. Mostly the crucial, the important work has been left behind and is postponed. Being constantly accessible means you frequently will be interrupted in your own work. An employee calls and urgently needs you to make a decision. Others come in your office to ask you something. I mean, in the end, you have an open door policy, right? Most of the time, these are only short distractions, but every disturbance interrupts your own workflow. This is exhausting. When you return to your actual task again, it will take a few minutes until you can fully concentrate again on where you left off. Where was I? What was I going to do here? It just takes time. It takes time to be fully refocused on the actual task again. Working with constant interruptions is extremely inefficient and stressful. In addition, if you're interrupted again and again, you make more mistakes. That's again then makes it harder for you to focus on your work. You're frustrated. Research has shown that office workers can only work in average for 11 minutes without getting interrupted. Imagine what it is like for managers who are and want to be accessible all the time. It's up to you as a boss to decide if you really want this. Most employees don't have the freedom to decide, but you have. As a manager, it's possible to isolate yourself from most interruptions, at least for a certain amount of time every day. But you need to decide that you want that. That means you have to ditch the always open door policy. It's sufficient if you are available and open for conversations, and you are available if an employee can leave you a message at any time. For example, by email or with your secretary if you have one. The one who has reached out to you will get an answer as soon as you are available again, but not immediately. That's not necessary in most of the cases. For example, I usually read my emails on working days within 24 hours. And in important cases, I also reply within 24 hours. That's a reasonable expectation, which I also generally consider reasonable for most managers. Email is an asynchronous communication medium. That means using emails allows me to be self-determined. I decide when to read emails and when to reply, not someone else or a beeping system. Anyone who expects me to respond to emails immediately has a wrong expectation. Sorry, that's your problem, not mine. Emails are not made for immediate reading and reply. It's a different situation when it comes to a phone call. I refer to this type of communication as synchronous, because as soon as someone calls you and you choose to pick up the phone, you have to communicate immediately. If your conversational partner asks you a question on the phone, you can't wait and just answer after 1 hour. You have to do it immediately. Before you pick up the phone, you're self-determined. After picking it up, you're not self-determined any longer. Now you are other-directed because you are caught in a synchronous communication. The same also applies to a personal discussion. Of course, that's also synchronous. As soon as you allow yourself to be involved in a conversation, your response times are determined by others, just like on the phone. So I'm not supposed to answer my phone anymore, or what? No, of course not. But if you want to be as self-determined as possible, which you should as a manager, try to arrange and schedule phone calls and meetings and not conduct them offhand. Yes, that sounds nice, but that doesn't work for me. My employees need quick decisions from me on a lot of things daily. I mean, I have to do that quickly. This kind of decisions can't wait. Stop. Most operational urgent tasks should be decided by your employees anyway. This means you have to give your employees the freedom to make the decisions they need to make. Oh, yes. Take your time and focus on the really important things yourself and delegate the rest. Don't solve problems that your employees are supposed to solve, and don't decide things that your employees can actually decide. Focus on few but essential tasks, and don't let yourself be constantly distracted. As I said, ditch the open door policy. Schedule meetings and calls and don't screw up your schedule. The problem quite often is, and I'm guilty of this sometimes as well, sometimes we love to have an excuse for postponing unpleasant tasks. I don't have time for this right now. Hello? Well, and then sometimes there's something else. It's that we love to hear the latest news. We want to hear what's in the news. We want to be distracted. We are wired like this, and it's inherent in all of us. Somehow it feels nice to be distracted by a new message that pops up on the screen of your smartphone. While you are working on an important presentation, a new email notification appears on the computer. Oh, who's sending me a message here? Is it important? No, it's not important. It's never important, at least not for now. Believe me, important things that are also urgent will not come in an email. If your house is on fire, the fire brigade will for sure not send you an email. No, we like to be distracted, and that's the problem. How can you stay focused and act more self-determined as a manager? It's easy, and it's not easy. Don't allow systems and others to interrupt you. Great. And how? I give you my 5 tips here. First, turn off all notifications. You shouldn't have any notifications turned on your phone. Not from Facebook, not from Snapchat, Twitter, WhatsApp or LinkedIn or you name it. No, turn it off. Hello? 2, switch off your email program. Very important. Always switch off the email program on your computer or laptop. Only open your email program when you want to read and answer your emails. And you shouldn't do this more than 2 or 3 times a day, right? Number 3, close the door and forward calls. If you are working on an important matter, don't answer the phone and close your door. Yes, in these times you have to ditch the open door policy, and that's a good thing. Number 4, turn off your smartphone during meetings. Oh, that's so important. When you're in a meeting, turn off the damned smartphone. Or best, don't bring it to the meeting in the first place. Hello? 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 And number 5, always be available, but don't be accessible all the time. Of course, as a manager, you are there for your employees. Your employees can send you an email at any time, and you will also read them, let's say, during the next 24 hours, and you will answer them. This is how they can reach out to you. However, you're not always accessible. You schedule a meeting or a call, but you are in the driver's seat. Don't let anyone screw up your schedule. If you do this, you are much more self-determined, and by doing this, then you can stay focused on the really important things. Thank you, and see you soon.